This lesson will be on the literary elements conflict, climax, and theme. The grade level that this lesson is geared to is first grade. It goes under the Common Core State Standard, Grade Level 1, Standard 2 under Literature, retell stories including key details and demonstrate understanding of their central message or lesson. The book I will be using for this lesson is Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. I'd start the lesson by briefly going over the definition of conflict, climax, and theme, and asking students to keep key questions in mind while reading the story. So the conflict in a story creates the plot. The plot are the events that happen in the story. Some questions I would ask students to keep in mind are, what are the things that happen in this book? What caused them to happen? Do the characters agree or disagree with each other? Are they getting along? Are they fighting? And why? The climax is the point in the story where we can guess what the solution to the conflict will be. So questions I would ask them to keep in mind are, at what point in the story do things change? Does this solve the conflict? Does it present another conflict? The theme is the message that the story or author is trying to send. Some examples of a theme in a story could be kind to others, listen to your parents. So some questions to keep in mind while reading would be, what is this story trying to tell you? Is there a lesson in the story? So at this point in the lesson, I would then read the story to the students, asking a few questions while I read. I would start at the beginning of the story by asking the students, have you ever tried green eggs and ham? Would you try it? This is just so that they can get in the mind frame of the main character who insists on not trying it. I would ask, is the main character being nice to Sam? Why or why not? And at the point in the book where the main character is finally going to try the green eggs and ham, I would ask the students, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's going to like it? Do you think he's not going to like it? So after the story, I would have a discussion with the kids in which I would ask what happened in the story. What was the issue in this story? What were Sam and the main character fighting over? At what point in the story did things change? How did things change? What do you think the lesson in the story was? And I would ask these questions just so that the kids could come up with what exactly the conflict, the climax, and the themes were. And after getting their answers and figuring out what those literary elements were, I would conclude the lesson by just restating what exactly each literary element was. So the conflict in this story was Sam trying to get the main character to eat green eggs and ham. Throughout the book, Sam chases the main character and tries to get him to eat the green eggs and ham in places like a tunnel, a train, a car, a tree, and more. So, the conflict caused the events in the story to happen. The climax happened when the main character finally tried the green eggs and ham and he realized that he actually liked the way they taste. Once the main character tried the green eggs and ham and liked it, we knew he would stop running away from Sam and their conflict would be solved. So the theme or the lesson in the story is to try things before you decide you don't like them. Would you try green eggs and ham?